encourage you to go download the podcast. Make sure you don't miss a single moment of the show. You can type in my name, Clay Travis. You can type in Buck Sexton. At least for now, you can go subscribe on iTunes, although there was some fear. Our friend Glenn Beck, Buck,
going after
yesterday
our man
vanished.
Glenn. And Glenn's so nice. Leave Glenn alone, Apple.
But it is something that I think we should mention as a concern, and why I think potentially being a Clay and Buck VIP could make sense down the line, given what we've seen from the YouTubes of the world, where they have even censored us when we interviewed Donald Trump or when we've interviewed Rand Paul. They've taken down our interviews. A part of me is afraid that at some point, especially as we come into 2024 and it gets closer to the election, that you and me and Glenn Beck and Sean Hannity and all the usual suspects, a lot of the Daily Wire guys, Megyn Kelly, who knows who else it's going to be, that they're going to decide that the conversations that we have on this program are not acceptable for the Apple audience and they want to curtail our reach. Are you afraid about that at all,
Yes.
that could happen with iTunes?
I think one thing that everyone has to remember is, because they'll say, well, conservatives are on YouTube, and they'll always, this is like when you say the media is liberal, and there's this idiotic argument. Well, what about Fox News? Like, okay, there's one channel.
Yeah, right.
And then there's all the other channels, the dozens
Yes.
of other channels that are pushing all the same exact politics all the time. And yeah, there are conservatives on these platforms, but you are constantly having to adapt your content to the strikes and the bans and the hits and the shadow banning and all this stuff. But more to the point here, Clay, for the election, I think everyone should remember, it's not that they suppress everything, and it's not that you even know about it while it's happening. It's at the key moment on a key issue, they can do it without people even recognizing it. Meaning, let's say, I don't know, maybe we find that 10% for the big guy actually meant millions of dollars in a bank account for Joe Biden. That would hurt, right? That would be, if not game over, pretty close to it, I think. 48% of Democrats or whatever, 48% of the electorate would still vote for him, but I think independents might flee. In this theoretical situation, you think you're posting it on Facebook. We think we're talking about it on YouTube. And it's not even they ban it. What's more pernicious than that is nobody sees it.
Yeah, they bury
And
it.
they just say do better content. Sorry, the algorithm isn't privileging your content, right? That's what they do.
I'll tell you this. I don't think I've said this on the show, but Outkick, the site that I run that Fox bought 2 years ago, that I hope you guys check if you like sports insanity, we got knocked on YouTube for a full week. We couldn't post. And what's particularly pernicious about it, and I think dishonest, is they went back and found things that had been posted for a long time. And you know what the strikes were, Buck? It was me saying, if you're young and healthy, I don't think you need to get the COVID shot. So it was 100% right. Data supports me. They wouldn't let us post for a week because I said, and Tommy Lahren, who does a show at Outkick as well, because both Tommy and myself were saying the same thing that we say on this program, which is, and I stand by it, if you're young and healthy, you have absolutely no reason whatsoever to get the COVID shot. And certainly it shouldn't be mandated. And they refuse to allow that opinion to be shared on YouTube. Even
What's
today.
amazing is I bet the actual YouTube trust and safety engineers, or whatever they call the little commissars over there, I bet they haven't gotten their booster for this season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even the lunatics have realized what a waste of time it is.
I shared that graphic that was out there. No one is getting the COVID shot. You can, I think it was last week, there was a data point where it showed, there's a huge spike when people thought initially, this is going to be our salvation. This is going to solve the COVID issues. And then it didn't happen. So just FYI, I would love for you to subscribe to iTunes, but you may also want to be a Clay and Buck VIP, more and more video going up, because we don't know and can't guarantee that you're always going to be able to get this show on iTunes. And as we get ready for 2024, if Donald Trump is the nominee, and as we said, he's now opened up nearly a 40-point lead, the same way that they shut Trump down on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and every social media platform on the planet, the same thing could happen to shows like this. So we're going to be adding affiliates. We're killing it. It's not a ratings-related issue. They don't like some of the things that we say. So I'll love the opportunity to go subscribe. Just look at what happened to Glenn Beck. It's amazing how this never happens to left-wing programs. They only manage to ever get conservative programs pulled down. Glenn's back up now, but yesterday he was down every bit of his program. You couldn't find it.
Yes. The accidental targeting of conservatives by big tech has been going on for over a decade now, and there's no accidental targeting of leftist lunatics for some reason. That doesn't happen.
Well, Buck, I don't think I've told this story either. When I sold Outkick, they went back into to dive the Fox team, and they found out that we were buried in the Google algorithm, so that we never showed up, Outkick this is, at the top of Google results, even for stories that we might have broken on the site. They would, if you think about, let's say that a new quarterback is getting signed, and you type that in on Google and you just want to go find that article, we got buried. And the Fox team, because they have relationships with Google, they went in and they said, oh, that was interesting. They said that you had just been basically shunted off to the side and you could never be found on Google search for years. And they said, that was just an error. No, somebody inside of Google who doesn't like me or doesn't like our content, this is what inevitably happens, because every algorithm, this is always important, every algorithm is produced by a human. So this idea that the algorithm is somehow all-knowing or all-seeing and it's completely fair and unbiased is a total lie. They adjust things all the time. It's amazing how often it happens where conservatives are disfavored.
It reminds me, my dad belonged for years to a hunting club because he liked to hunt a lot when I was growing up in upstate New York, and they were very strict on sort of some of the rules of the lodge, the house where it was, and there would always be these notices from the committee. It'd be like, the committee has decided. The committee was one guy who owned the place, Clay.
Yeah, that's funny.
Right? So, but the whole point is, it makes it sound, it's like the algorithm. It makes it sound more, grandiose. And also, you can't get mad at the committee. Like, you can't get mad at the algorithm. A person you could get mad at, but, try that sometime, by the way. Next time you and Laura have an argument over something, or, hey, should we take the kids to this movie? Just be like, Laura, the committee has decided.
No, I used to always say the NCAA, which regulates college athletics, the NCAA derived its authority from the member institutions, but the member institutions would all blame the NCAA anytime the NCAA did something they didn't like. And so I used to say, it's funny you have that analogy. I used to say I was going to have the Clay Travis Institute for Unpopular Opinions. And anytime people got upset, I'd be like, that's not Clay Travis. That's the Clay Travis Institute for Unpopular Opinions. You should be really upset at the institute, not the guy.
100%. I mean, this is a ploy that has worked very well in a lot of circumstances for people. And with big tech, the algorithm thing has always been that way. What Elon found out when he bought, I know this from people who talked to Elon about it, what he found out when he bought Twitter was that people were making, individual employees there were making their own adjustments to code on specific issues and maybe even specific accounts.
Yes.
So this is someone who works at Twitter, does not like X, well, now X means something else, does not like certain person or certain issue, and they shadow ban them.
Yes.
They down.
No, I mean, it's indisputably true that has been going on, and that's why I wish in a truly open source software, Elon Musk, if he posted everything, it would be great to be able to do those searches and see who actually is being favored and who's being disfavored in terms of their content being distributed, because it isn't, I still think, a completely fair marketplace.